What's good, guys? Fantasy Joe back here with some breaking fantasy news. Today, we are talking James Robinson's fantasy profiles in wake of the recent Travis Etienne injury. Looks like he's going to be out for most of this season. They said a 12-week time frame from now, but that they would only bring him back if it makes sense for the team is what they're making it sound like. So he's probably going to miss the entire season, it sounds like, or if he is, he'll come back at the end and be reintroduced into a role. But I'm going to talk about where James Robinson should be drafted now, my stat predictions, all that good stuff. If you guys want to stay up to date with all your fantasy leagues, want to have a chance to win your league because you're getting all this up-to-date content and the best fantasy football content around, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Really helps us out. I have a ton of fantasy profiles on the channel. Just put up my wide receiver league winners this morning. Running back league winners were out a couple days ago. Tons of content always dropping, so hit that sub button, and let's talk James Robinson. Okay, so James Robinson finished RB7 in 2020, had a great season. Now I want to read off some of his stats just so let's talk about how good he really was. 240 attempts, 1,070 rushing yards, 7 rushing touchdowns. He also caught 49 passes, which was absolutely huge, for 344 yards and 3 touchdowns receiving. So he had double-digit touchdowns as a rookie. But here's one of the biggest things I want to point out is James Robinson had an absolute insane opportunity share last year, 85.2% opportunity share. To put that in perspective, Derrick Henry last year had a 78.5 opportunity share, and he had 397 touches. But there's and the reason being, there weren't many very after cutting Fournette, they didn't really have a very good running back option. And James Robinson basically got all that. But I don't think they have another big-time option. Or obviously they don't have a big-time option now that Etienne is out. But I think that James Robinson have pretty similar numbers to what he did last year if the offense just gets a little bit better. I think we have major reasons to believe the offense will get better with Trevor Lawrence being the starting quarterback for the Jaguars this year. Gardner Minshew, Mike Glennon, and Jake Luton. Those were the starting quarterbacks that the Jacksonville Jaguars rolled out last season. I think Trevor Lawrence's rookie year will be significantly better than any of them. I think he has a chance to have a Justin Herbert-esque rookie year. Not saying he'll be that good because I think Herbert was the best we've ever seen, but if he gives you 80% of that, he's going to be yards and leaps better than what the quarterback situation was last year. So I think the offense can get a lot better around James Robinson. I think that they've got, Marvin Jones is there, Laviska Shenault in year 2 with Trevor Lawrence. And I think another thing I've said in the Travis Etienne injury video this morning, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars have an underrated unit for run blocking, especially they're one of the few offensive lines that returns all 5 starters this year. I think that will be big for James Robinson running behind that same unit he saw success behind last year. An average 4.5 yards a carry running the ball, pretty good, and was only 7 yards a reception. I think that's where you could see maybe if he had 49 receptions, so it's a little bit of a reach, I guess, to think that's all going to work out. But I think there's a world where, it does work out, and he's averaging 8.5 yards a reception, even if he doesn't give as many receptions as he had last year. I'm comfortable taking James Robinson right in that 3-4 turn now, maybe even higher. I've got no problem taking him early third if you're in on him. I think he's worth a third-round pick. I have his stat predictions for 240-plus carries, 1,000-plus rushing yards, 40-plus receptions, 300-plus receiving yards, and 8-plus touchdowns. I think he could easily get back to 10, if not 12 this year if Lawrence is better. Lawrence is going to be better, but saying the offense takes leaps and bounds. And, those drives, they were just getting shut down last year because they couldn't go anywhere, and he was getting the ball basically all the time. But even if he doesn't get the ball at the same rate he does last year, as long as the offense can sustain drives, put more points on the board, he could be a lot better for fantasy, I think. All right, if you guys made it to this point in the video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. James Robinson probably slotting in right about RB15 for me now in drafts, and that's where I'm comfortable taking him. So, yeah, RB15, right around that range. Probably there to RB18, somewhere in there. All right, see you guys. This is Fantasy Joe. Thanks for watching.